Rock percent off collector. We're here with another action figure unboxing and review, and today we're going to be looking at the amazing Yamaguchi powered by Revoltech Wolverine. But we got another AliExpress edition because as a percent off collector, I got to get those deals. But the question is this going to be worth it or is it going to be a dud? Well, let's find out. Alright, so if you've been watching this channel for a while, first of all, thank you for coming back and watching these channels. And you know that I always go after these deals, especially when something looks cool. And it's kind of interesting because AliExpress, so far, I'd say I'm probably batting, a good like 80-85% as far as not ending up with something that is bad. There's always like a little bit of something here or there, but nothing that has been like a total failure. Well, I did have one on our sister channel, Women of Action Figure, which you should go check out because all female action figure is really awesome. And I got some stuff from AliExpress there as well. But the last amazing Yamaguchi that I did, which was Deadpool, and you can see the video about that as well, it actually turned out to be pretty decent. So, I totally liked the movie. So I was like, let me get the Wolverine version. And this one I got even cheaper. But first of all, just seeing how it looks, this one I'm pretty sure is knockoff. Like some of the stuff on AliExpress could be like seconds or have faults or errors or whatever, but this one is pretty pure knockoff basically from what I've seen. But for the price, I didn't care. So, as you can see, the box got a little bit damaged, but actually compared to what AliExpress usually comes in, not bad at all. A lot of times the package comes totally jacked up and you have to really be careful with it. The good thing is they have a really good policy as far as return, especially if you select choice. You'll see a thing called choice and it has a check mark and it has free returns. And honestly, I haven't had any problems getting my money back if something was shipped incorrectly or without the box. Or the funniest ones is when they send you a box, but they will literally, what will happen is, and I should get a video of this before. So they'll send you like, it's a poly bag and then it's wrapped in like a pretty thick like plastic. But then what they did is they took the product out so that it would fit in the poly bag and then they would fold the box. So you technically did get a box, but it was like folded and bent and the figure was not in the box. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But without further ado, let's open this thing up and see what we see, because you never know. Every once in a while you may pull one out. Now you did see, if you could tell, that it kind of, at least like one of the claws here like slid, but I mean that doesn't really mean anything, but it's just something I took a notice of. I kind of like that in the back. That's kind of cool. So here's the figure itself, and so this is my like I said, my second Revoltech Yamaguchi knockoff type. So I kind of got a little bit used in the last video about like how it looks and how it functions. And that makes it easy, just the way it all comes falling out like that, right? I guess. So I do like it comes with a stand. And so far I can at least say as far as stands go, that's, it's pretty nice. It's about the same as any other plastic stand I've ever had. Is the foot broken? Ooh, that foot is loose. Ooh, okay, we'll talk about that in a second though, because that looks like that could be some damage right there. But so I would say anytime you deal with any type of knockoffs, whether it's like AliExpress, Temu, something like that, I've noticed that there's just certain things that if you look for and you understand, like, you're not going to be too surprised. Like, I admit, I don't like those videos where it's like some person is like, oh, I bought a $5 Switch, and then they have like, that stupid shocked look on their face that it didn't work. It's like, really? You thought you were going to get a $5 Switch from AliExpress and it was going to be good? Like, nah. But I do notice that like harder plastic, things that are more simple, you have less likely to run into issues. So like if you look at like G1 Transformers, that'd be a good example of where that plastic, and sometimes it still even has the die-cast metal, where that is like a harder plastic and it wasn't anything crazy. The transformation was really simple. So you didn't really have a lot to go with it in the beginning anyway. So it wasn't something that you had to worry about it being replicated, having to do a lot to get it close to the original. Basically what I'm saying is the more difficult it is, the more parts it is, the more sensitive it is, the more likely that you can run into those quality issues. But if it's something that's simple, then you probably will have a better chance of having something that's good. So the thing with a figure like this is the more sensitive parts, the more things that you're switching out, there's more chance that you're going to fall into some quality issue. Now, sometimes it can just be like the way the paint app is. It can be maybe the sculpt is a little bit off or something. But also you can get it where something is actually just broken. And, that's just something you have to take into consideration. So far, at least the accessories look fine. Like even here, the ones with the hand, let's see how that goes. And that's one of the things I always see too. Like whenever you have to put, I know if you see the video on Agent Spawn, like some of the parts that you put on would fall off kind of easy. So I always like when you're able to put on the claws, see, that doesn't look so bad. So it's wasn't hard to put on, but it seems to fit well. So that's nice. And like I said, the head and stuff like that can be a thing because sometimes the peg or something, it can be a little off. You never know. But may not be that big of a deal. But all right, so let's get to the figure itself. So like I said, one of the first things that a lot of people want to look for is, is there, paint apps, defects, things like that. And it's you can see some things right here, even how the arm, that's two different colors. You see that, the arm and stuff like that. There's stuff like that. I admit, the yellow parts so far look pretty decent. Up here, the stripe to come around. I mean, yeah, obviously it's not going to be as good as the real thing. But oh man, see that just seemed too easy. For the way it came off, I don't know. Again, my Deadpool didn't do that, but I don't know if that's a thing or not. So I mean, that's one of those things where it's I don't have a real reference to frame it. I guess it's if it happens a lot, that could be an issue. But I mean, let me see. I mean, it doesn't seem like is it gonna fall off? Doesn't seem like it'll fall off again. And I know that the arms, on the legit thing, they have these arms that you can move around like that. So that's another thing I always see. I admit, the arms up here, that feels good. That doesn't feel loose. The rotation and stuff here, that doesn't feel bad. So that movement, that ability, that motion, that seems fine. Same thing here on the forearm. And see things like that, the hand and coming off while you're just moving something that seems weird, because that shouldn't be that easy. So something like that will give me a concern, because if you have pieces that seem to come off, like I said, the Deadpool didn't have that. So I mean, that's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Since again, I'm probably going to be doing poses and stuff, it may not be that big of a deal. Oh, but see, then again, so I mean, this here, I was just not doing much with it and it came loose. But hey, this is a good opportunity to look underneath here. I mean, again, nothing here looks like it's broken though. I'm trying to see. I mean, even the waist area, it's kind of interesting. All these are separate pieces though. So I mean, it could just be, maybe I got a bad one, maybe it's just a little bit loose, maybe I have to just play around to get the connection right, because see, it looks like it fits in like that. But oops, I assume that here and down. But yeah, oh no, the peg went up. I mean, the peg itself, this doesn't feel like it turns. It doesn't feel like it's broken, but I'm also kind of looking, oh, I realized I had that backwards. That could be part of it, but, and see, that's the thing, like trying to reconnect it from there. Well, I'll reconnect it in a minute. Let's just look at the legs. Since we got here, we can see what the legs look like. But you can see, I mean, this is what happens, obviously, when you get something like this that's a knockoff. And then, like I said, I saw like the toes right there. I mean, look at that. Like that looks like it's like it's gonna break there, or like it's already kind of broken. This one though, this one feels normal. So again, quality. It all comes down to like quality, because when you're getting something like this, you have to understand that, you know, it's very possible you're going to end up with that, especially for what you pay. So the rest of it seems fine. Like you see, it has that same joints down here. So I mean, that part seems fine. And then as far as the knee bends and all that, it does feel weird playing with just basically the lower end torso, but you can see like the legs so far, everything, even like the way the paint on the legs look, that looks fine. And as I said, both of the knees bend really well, so it's like you're able to get good motion. But wow, that toe is just like, I mean, you're able to do like really full bend on that. So I mean, that part's cool. And then as I said, like there's always usually a little something with the head, but I think in this case, since you have the mask, isn't too bad. I mean, obviously you see like the paint and all that, so it's definitely not perfect, but at the same time, it's not like it's horrible either. And a lot of this stuff, it's like, even like when I did the Deadpool and I was looking at Agent Venom, like when you put it on the shelf, like you really don't notice it unless you like really get close and you're like doing all this. So I mean, again, it really has to be up to what kind of collector you are. And I can totally understand that, you know, look, I also would say, like, if I just like the way the figure is, then I'd be like, okay, maybe I want to invest in the real thing afterwards, you know? So we saw that his hand was coming off easy, so at least we know that switch is fine. So let's see about putting up on the other one. I mean, so it looks like at least once you have it on, just seeing like if I do a normal turn, that doesn't seem like it's falling off. But see, like as soon, oh, it looks like, I don't know, I thought that maybe that actually broke. But see, it could be like that connection, the hole here is not done well enough. So it's not really holding it the way it should be. So I mean, again, it could be one of those things like, so I mean, it gets in. So it's like, if you get the pose that you want, so you're playing around and you're trying to get what you want, then I assume, but see, look, I mean, again here. So, so I mean, this unfortunately seems like it could be just one of those ones that's just not good as far as quality. It's like, sure, I can be gentle with it. I'll get the pose that I want, and then it's fine. But, you know, you're playing around with it, and it's going to be coming off here. I mean, this hand seemed pretty decent as far as switching it. Let me put on another just fist hand. Oh, see, there you go. I mean, I kind of assume the way, oh no, I guess that isn't a break. Well, that's so weird, because I keep thinking that, I'm like, oh, that's a break, and it's like, nope, not quite. So it's like, this came off, but yeah. So I mean, this one I just have to say is going to be considered a bad one, just because, like, the Deadpool didn't have all that, and Agent Venom didn't have all that. So it's like, didn't break, so I can't say it broke on me. Just to get a look under there, and a look at the bicep turns and all that. But I mean, obviously, as far as just the quality all over it, it's not great. And it's like the head is like, I'm scared. I mean, I guess that's simple. So let me just look at the difference between, because like even that is different. So I'm wondering if I'm going to have, because there's two that you have here, right? So you have these two, and then you have this one. So you have different heads. So it's like, so this one, so that's basically how you can, it's interesting too, how you can tell the main head. Because you have this one, then these are the ones that have this one. So, let's see how that works out. It's weird because it really does feel like it's... Okay, well, I mean, that seemed to... Oh, no, I spoke too soon. I was about to say, it seemed like it fit on well. Because at first, when I connected it, it seemed like it went in with... See, like that? You see that? Like... So it's sitting, if you look on the inside, it's sitting in there pretty decent. So, I mean, like, it's not going to fall off. But again, it's like... Maybe I did better this time? I mean, obviously, once, if you're able to get it working in there, it's not terrible, but, you know, again, you get what you pay for. And that's one of the reasons why I do these videos, because it's like, sometimes when you go hunting for deals, you don't come out with something that great. But, I mean, again, at least now it's on, so we have it like that. So yeah, I'd say that overall, just trying this out, I would say that, I mean, it's not great, but for the price, we'll see. So I'm going to put everything back together. I'm going to put it on the turntable, and then we'll have final thoughts. So we got everything put back together. And as I said, actually, putting together back the torso was pretty much the same as like with the head, where it's like you just have to line everything up and then give it a good push to make sure that you get it. So, I mean, obviously, as I said, overall, there's obvious quality issues. So, you know, parts falling off, the arm color, you know, the different things with the paint and all that, the head, all that, you know, so obviously it's not going to come even close to the real thing, but the price difference. So the question is like, do you still want to just play around with what you get? Are you happy to just have something like it and then see like, hey, maybe I might invest in something down the line? Because as I said, with these bootlegs, it can be hit or miss. Sometimes it's pretty decent. Sometimes it can be horrible. This one's a little bit closer to horrible. But here's the thing. On AliExpress, I paid $12.50 for this thing. So, you know, obviously, you talk to different collectors, someone would be like, oh, I wouldn't pay 50 cents for it. But, I mean, come on. You know how much that the actual Yamaguchis cost. And to me, I'm the kind of person that, yeah, I want to take pictures, I want to play around with it, but, I mean, it still looks good to me, especially, like, if it, once you have it mounted or something, and, like, even I was looking how the claw effect, I mean, I know that you don't put it on his back like that, but I just thought it was cool that it actually fits there. So just as far as just how it looks, as I said, like the view itself, just visually, it still looks cool to me. And as I said, part of it is what kind of collector I am. Like, I like just having it and just seeing like, oh, this is cool. Let me see how this works. Does it look good on the shelf? Does it, you know, is it still cool enough, especially for the price? But if you're like a super Wolverine fan and you really want to play with the articulation and you really want to get into it, and it's like you only have a couple of prize items on your shelf and this is one of them, then yeah, obviously I'd be like, no, don't get this one. But, you know, for the discounts, it's, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, for me, the main thing was does the main part, like, does the suit look decent? Like, when you look at just the overall main body of the suit, I think that's fine. Like, even on the arms here, that's fine. All the pieces as far as the claw effects, I think that those look pretty decent. You know, obviously when you get in closer, maybe on the face or things like that, you know, it's like, so like on the belt here or up on the face, that's where you start to see it. And then, like I said, when you're looking at like the arms, you know, the color difference, and none of this stuff you would see on the legit figure. But again, I will do price point versus getting this and just having it on my shelf and be like, hey, that still looks cool. I compare it with other Marvel Legends because that's my budget. So again, overall, I would say I'm still happy to get it for my collection based on the price. And it's my first actual this size Wolverine figure. The other ones that I have are like the old school Toy Biz ones. But as far as is it good for your collection, I'm going to put it to be determined, because in this case, especially with all the issues I've documented, it is totally up to you to make that final decision. Hey, thanks for checking out the channel. And if you like what you've seen, please consider giving us a like, comment, a sub, all that stuff. It really helps the algorithm as we try to make a push to reach out to more collectors that, like me, like to get that discount. Because you know how I say, no discount, no deal. Alright, catch you later.